Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Geminis that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are in your chart, I will be putting a astrological free natal link in the description box down below so that you can check that out for yourselves and maybe see the bigger astrological picture that's happening as well in your own lives. Must say at the moment, Gemini, there isn't a lot going on a astrological basis because there is really nothing in your sign as of yet, although you are about to get the nodes. The moon's node, the north node, is about to move into Gemini in a month or so's time, so that will be interesting. But for now your sign is pretty empty. But that doesn't mean that you haven't got anything else going on astrologically. So the link down below will hopefully help you to have a look and see for yourselves. Also, if you've got a lot of air in your chart, this may well resonate with you. And also if you have Gemini placements elsewhere, then this reading may resonate with you as well. But it is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everybody. If this reading doesn't resonate with you, you might want to check out also the placements that are for your moon and your rising and your Venus as well, to see whether or not that makes any difference for you and whether it makes more sense, the readings that I'm going to be putting out for those signs. So Gemini, let's start with your first card, which is going to be a major arcana card, because I've decided I'm going to pull one major arcana card for an overall energy for each of the readings, for each of the signs that are coming up. And this is your card, Gemini. This is the card of the Magician. And I see it as your card, Gemini, because it is Mercury ruled. And you yourselves are Mercury ruled. And Mercury at this moment in time is in Pisces. And so Mercury's not having the best of times. In Pisces, he's not particularly happy. Doesn't like to be in Pisces. It's too wishy-washy. There's not enough definition for Mercury. He can't get all the messages easily. He kind of finds it difficult to make sense of Piscean energy. So you yourselves may be finding that you're feeling a little bit confused and kind of not being able to pin things down like you normally do with those kind of bright, alert, mercurial minds. So the Magician here, the overall energy for this read and for the kind of month ahead, I feel as well, is saying to me that there's something that you are in the process of, or you are wanting to start manifesting. It is the card of the manifester. Each one of these elements here represents the intellect for the swords. You have the rod here, or the wand, for the creative energy, and you have your cup here for the emotions that need to go into it. So all of these are needed. You need your mind. You need to be able to think about the idea. How's it going to work out? The planning of it, the creation of it is with the wand here, and the emotions are what kind of really bring it to life. But the pentacle down here for me is the physical realm of how you actually bring it into the world, how you bring it into reality. Normally the Magician stands with one hand pointing up and one hand pointing down to the earth, kind of saying that they're bringing those elements or that energy from kind of the greater realm, if you like, the spiritual realm, into the physical realm, because every idea starts, or every manifestation starts with a thought. It's a thought process, and then it becomes a feeling. And the feeling is kind of what brings it into our awareness, if you like, how we feel about it, as to whether or not we're going to keep putting our energy into it and actually bring it into this physical world and make it happen. So you're either in the process of doing this, Gemini, or you're thinking about doing it. It's beginning to formulate as an idea in your head. And at the heart of your reading today, you have the Four of Wands, but it's in reverse. And this card for me is all about challenge. This is about taking something up. This is about you kind of bringing that manifestation into the physical realm. But I feel here as though it's kind of meeting resistance. Maybe you yourself have hit a roadblock. Maybe you don't feel as though you're getting all the help that you need, because then it's up the right way. It's saying that we've got all these people that are surrounding Jason here as his boat has come in. And the boat to me always represents life. And kind of whether or not you're going to get on that boat and take that journey, which is also, you know, manifestation is a journey as well. Manifesting, whether it's a business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a something creative, whether you're a writer. Or I must say that while I was doing my shuffling, I always kind of sit with my hands on my cards before I start my readings. And with this particular deck today, my hands felt as though they didn't want to move too far away. Sometimes my hands will move quite far out before they come back in again. But today they kind of wanted to stay really close to the cards, this particular deck of cards anyway. And it kind of felt like there was a moulding of clay going on. So I don't know if it's got anything to do with somebody who's a potter out there maybe, who's going to kind of have a breakthrough moment with creating something, manifesting, bringing something into the physical realm. Or whether it's kind of saying that this is the energy that you're dealing with, and that if you kind of see it as kind of moulding something, as in actually kind of mentally create it in your head, you can then kind of manifest it into the physical world. But I feel as though at the moment there's some kind of creative or creative block rather than a mental block. I feel it's creative because, like I said, something isn't moving forward here. And it may be, because you've got the Ten of Swords here as well, it may be that you're kind of sticking with something that isn't right, but you're determined to make it happen that way. But with the Ten of Swords, it's kind of saying to me that this needs to be dropped, this needs to be let go of. You need to, this is your challenge, and your challenge is, I feel, to stop doing the same thing over and over again. That's what this is saying to me today, because you're just going to get the same result. It doesn't matter how much time and energy you try to put into it. If you keep doing the same thing, it's not going to work out the way you want it to work out. You're just going to keep getting the same result, and you're going to just keep frustrating yourself. That's how I'm feeling with this card today. There's a frustration, there's a blockage, there's something that's not cooperating on some level here. And the card that's in your head, Gemini, what you need to be aware of at this moment in time in your head, and what you're aware of, is also this Page of Wands upside down. And again, it's more creative energy. Wands is always creative. It speaks of the creative imagination as well in some ways. And again, because it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that you need to this is saying that you need to leave that idea and move beyond it. Because this is about moving from one situation into another situation. But again, because it's reversed, I'm feeling as though you are kind of It's almost like you've started something or something's in the process, but now you've kind of got to the point where you're kind of hanging in air, if you like. You can't bring the rest of it into to the finish line, is kind of what I'm hearing. So the finish line, it's like you can't get over that finish line. You can't get to your destination. There is within this card as well a message that the destination is not always as important as the journey itself that you're taking. And don't be in too much of a rush as well. Maybe that's also got something to do with this, because you may miss something on the way if you're trying to get from A to B without kind of taking any notice of any, if you think of going out, you know, for a country ride or something, and you kind of see a little road and you think, oh, you know, I can't take the time to go down there. I've just got to get straight to my destination. But there could be something down that road that is going to help with your journey, or a reason for why you need to go down there. So that's kind of what this card is saying to me at the moment. It's like, don't be in such a rush to get to the end of what it is that you're trying to bring into the reality, whatever it is that you're trying to create here, because you are just going to keep coming up against kind of same frustrations, is what I'm getting. Just frustrations. And that you maybe need to just possibly even slow down a bit. We have this card here, which normally I would go to the subconscious, but today I'm kind of being more drawn to this card first, which is the energy that's moving away from you here. But it's a swords energy. It's a page of swords. So again, it's a young energy. Both of these are young energies. So they both need to be kind of matured in order for you to get to the point where you feel that you've achieved what it is that you've set out to achieve. Because at the moment, if you think of it, these are kind of still in kind of age terms. We could kind of class them as younger children who still have quite a lot to learn, quite a lot to experience. So this could also involve children as well. For all you Gemini parents out there. But here I feel again that this is about, because swords is the intellect, it's the mind, it's the way that we kind of think on a day-to-day basis. Air energy. Yourselves, Gemini, Libra energy, and mine's gone complete. Aquarius, of course. Aquarius energy. And we do just have had, or have just had today, literally, or yesterday, depending on where you are in the world watching this, Saturn just moved into Aquarius. So Saturn has just moved into an air sign. But for me, this card is kind of an energy of questioning, looking for answers, seeking out people, places, ways of doing things. Kind of, it's an innocent energy. There's a real innocence about this energy and a real kind of impishness as well. But I feel that this is about you kind of rushing. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting about. It's almost like trying to run before you can walk. And that there is this need to kind of slow things down, slow the process down, stop kind of again, just kind of stop doing the same thing over and over again, because you're just going to get the same frustrating results here. Whatever this is about, whatever this manifestation is to do with in your life. And underneath, in the subconscious level, you have, this is you, Gemini, in your manifestation place. The Eight of Pentacles to me is about something that you're trying to master. And it's like each of these ones here represents something that you've tried to do in the past. It's like you've tried to do, you've tried to manifest things in the past that maybe haven't turned out right for you. And maybe that's also what this is about as well, saying that you keep trying to do the same thing in the same way. And you need to look at this, which you've got this coin here on the table, which you're working on. This is what you're manifesting. This is what you are bringing into the physical realm with all your tools that you've gathered up together. To create something, and this time you need to do it differently. This is what it's saying to me today, Gemini, that this is something you need to approach this in a different way. However it is that you've been doing this that is causing frustration and exhaustion as well. If you look here, he's completely exhausted, but is exhausted by these furies here, which represent the mind, the kind of madness, the kind of, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, just sending you slightly doolally because you can't understand why it's not working. Why is it not happening? Why is it not turning out the way I want it to? But Athene here, who has turned up to say to these creatures that that's enough, like she's holding her hand up here and she's saying, that is it, that's it, you know, leave him alone now. That's enough. You've had your fun. Now it's time to stop this. And Athene is all about strategy. She represents the goddess of like strategy in battle and war and logic and thinking things through, and the sword represents the kind of clear cut way of doing things, thinking about things. She also appears in the card of justice as well. And in mythology, Athene was born from, I think it was Zeus's head. I know she was born from one of the gods' heads. I can't remember exactly. I think it was Zeus's head, which kind of implies that she doesn't have that same emotional attachment. So she has the ability to see through things in a clearer, more precise fashion, perceptive. And maybe that's what you're needing to do, is to step back and try and see things in a more perceptive mindset. But I do feel that there is this determination here. You are determined that you're going to do this. You do want to master it, whatever this is. There is this card has about it a sense of mastery. It is a very earth orientated card. It is the card of Taurus and Capricorns and Virgo. That dedication, that keep doing it over and over again. But like I'm saying here, this is all the things that you've tried to do over and over again, but now you need to stop doing it in the same way. But the energy that you have moving in for you, Gemini, is the Seven of Cups. So there could be some confusion. Fortunately, it's up the right way. So if there is confusion, I feel it's not going to last that long. You will be able to kind of see through this eventually. But I do feel that it is very exhausting, and there's a similar energy or similarness about these two down here. Kind of, this one is totally exhausted and can't take any more. And it's only at that moment that these creatures here that have been sent to send him mad, which kind of reflect our mind process in the respect of doing that same thing over and over again and expecting to get different results, and then seeing the same thing happen and just thinking, why is it happening to me the same way over and over again, and kind of exhaustion and kind of not knowing what else to do. And she's kind of in a similar situation here, because Psyche is kind of on her knees begging for, begging Aphrodite here, goddess of love, which is all about our passions and our emotions and what we put our emotions into. And when you put so much time and energy and effort into creating something, it's hard to walk away from it. It's hard to leave, or it's hard to maybe even accept that you have to do something a different way. But the way that you've been doing something isn't working for you anymore. It might have worked before, but I get the feeling that this is more about you just being frustrated. I feel that that's really what this card here is saying. There's this frustration of not seeing the results that you want to see. And so in the Seven of Cups, these are kind of known as castles in the air. And Aphrodite is kind of offering Psyche any of these. She's kind of saying, you can have any one of those. Just choose. Just choose whichever it is that you want. And I can give it to you. You know, I can give you your dreams, your fantasies. But they're not what Psyche wants. She doesn't want any of these. But there is also this fear element here within this card, that if you don't choose one of these, are you going to lose everything? So there could also be an element of that within this, or it will be coming into play, that if you kind of change direction, if you kind of look at things a different way, are you going to lose everything that you've built up so far, Gemini? But the Queen of Pentacles, which has come out with this card as well, says to me, no, you're not. Because she's come out the right way and she's very solid. She knows her value. She has her coin in her hand here, which is the coin that you've been working on here, Gemini, in this card. This to me is this here, and it's like it's working out for you. Once you decide what it is, how you're going to do it, it will work out for you. But you do, I feel, need to kind of change course. which I think is what this card is saying here. There's something that you're missing. There's something I feel that you're focusing too much on the end result, and you're not aware of something that is, I feel it's in your environment as well. That's the weird thing about it. I feel as though it's there, but you're kind of missing it. You're kind of not seeing it. You're not kind of aware of it. But the Queen, like I said, the Queen of Pentacles says to me that you will be successful. She's a very fertile card. There's huge amounts of abundance in this card. Just by looking at this card, the colour of the card, the greenery, the grapes that she holds in her hands, it's all very abundant. It's all very nourishing. It's all very... yeah, there's just this sense of earthiness about it, and kind of, you know, bringing it out into the physical realm, the earth realm, the physical, making it work for you, creating it. And something that's going to kind of feed you back as well, I feel as well, that whatever this is, it's going to feed you on a soul level as well, because this isn't just about the money or the financial side of things. Pentacles, people often just see Pentacles as being like, oh, finances, but it's not. It's because finances are great, but it's what we do with them that really counts. So it's about taking care of your well-being as well. How you can look at your, you know, there's an element of nourishing yourself here. Your health, your wealth, they all kind of join together for me. A sense of whatever it is that you're creating, manifesting, Gemini, and bringing into this physical realm is going to really kind of feed you, nourish you, nurture you on another level. Not just a financial level, but also on a kind of, not just a confidence level, but on a, although I do think it's going to help boost your confidence as well. But also on a personal worth level. It's going to help boost your self-worth. So I'm going to pull you a... No, I'm not going to pull you a moon card yet. I'm going to pull cards from the Good Tarot first and see what they have to say about this reading. So we have the Four of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So I'd like a card for the Four of Wands and the Ten of Swords, please. So confirmation for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Everyone just flip over there. And at this moment in time, you've got the Strength card, which is what I feel is the exhaustion. I feel that this is the exhaustion. It's like you keep putting your time and everything you've got, I feel, into this. Everything. Just everything. And it is wearing you down. It is exhausting you. Strength card in reverse literally talks of like feeling depleted. Feeling that your strength in some way is being used against you even. You don't know how you're going to carry on. You don't know if you can carry on. Which is what this card here is about as well. This exhaustion. Can I go any further than this? No. But it is sometimes only in the giving up of something or the leaving behind of something that we actually kind of break that spell, if you like, or that kind of energy, and something else comes into our lives instead. It's like that energy shifts purely because we've kind of just broken whatever it was that was kind of keeping us in that place, which is also what I feel this is about. So at the moment there is this sense of like it's all too much. You don't have the strength, you don't have the energy, you don't have the even the inclination at the moment to just keep going. But it is about kind of, like I said, looking for answers in a different way, or allowing yourself to see things in a different way. So a card for the Page of Wands. There we go. And we have the Ten of Earth, which kind of makes sense, because the Ten of Earth to me is kind of where you are trying to get to. This is what you're trying to create, if you like. If it was up the right way, you could see here that she's kind of, all of these coins down the side here are very similar to me. For me, they represent achievements. They represent things that you've worked for. The 10 is the card of satisfaction. It's the card of completion, in the sense of like you've got your goal, you've got to where you want to get to. You can kind of relax and enjoy it. But it's in reverse. And it's what's in your head, and there's a feeling here for me that you feel as though you're never going to get there at this moment in time, especially with this upside down strength card as well, Gemini, that you're just feeling that it's never going to happen. You're never going to see the completion or the manifestation of whatever it is that you are trying to achieve here. Ten of Earth in reverse. Yeah, it's just this feeling that it just seems so far away, the actual end result. But again, as I was saying, because it's come out with this page here about the destination, like this is your destination, but your destination may not be the place that you think it's going to be, or the place that you're trying to get to. It may not be that place, but you are so convinced it is that you keep kind of putting all your energy into that idea, if you like. But it may be that it's going to be something completely different. And maybe the universe is kind of saying to you, you know, that's not the right journey for you, Gemini. You need to kind of look elsewhere. And there is a lot of that happening in the world at this moment in time. Lots of people are kind of changing jobs and moving out of homes that they've lived in for forever, and kind of lots of energies shifting, moving, relationships changing, all sorts, long-lasting relationships as well. It's all change at this moment in time. So over the top of the Page of Swords we have the Six of Air, and again it's in reverse. So there's this feeling that usually the Six of Air is about moving away from something, leaving something behind, but you are reluctant to do it. It's in reverse. You don't want to. You don't want to move on. You don't want to. Again, as I was saying earlier, I just get this feeling you are determined to keep on the same way. And this to me is kind of saying you've got to change direction here. you've got to, because this is mind, this is, again, it's air, it's the same energy, it's thought, it's logical process. It's like you've got to move yourself away from this very rigid way of thinking, to allow something new in. Because with the 6 of air in reverse, it's kind of saying that you're not moving away. You should be moving away from it. You should be leaving that idea behind and moving into calmer waters where it's more, or you're less emotionally caught up in something, and you're more like steering home, like on your journey destination there. But I'm feeling here that you're kind of, again, it's that energy of just something blocked, something creative also. And again, that sense of kind of, you know, roadblocks, except it's on the water. So it's kind of maybe a storm as well, you know, kind of, it just seems to me that things just keep kind of being put in your path to kind of stop this process, and you're still determined. You're still determined that you're going to do it your way, Gemini. You're going to do it your way. You're going to make it happen. And you're just going to keep getting the same results. So, what is the 8 of Pentacles saying to you down here? What does the 8 of Pentacles want to say to you, Gemini? Eight of Pentacles, mastering something, working hard on something. This is what's in your subconscious. It's what you know on some deeper level you need to be doing, and you really want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is on the subconscious level, so you may not be completely aware of even why you're doing it. Okay, this card fell out over the top of it, literally. 5 of Earth. Five of Earth. When this first fell out, the first thing I thought of when I saw it is being stuck. Just kind of, like, if you look at this card, it's like she's literally kind of blending in with everything here. She's kind of being consumed by it. It's like it's totally taken over her. And she no longer has control over it. It's like it has now kind of taken over her life, I feel, Gemini. That it's kind of all consuming you. And that there is a light at the end of this tunnel, but the light is behind you and you're not looking there. You're not looking there. It's almost like you're refusing, completely refusing to look anywhere else. You are so fixated on the way it has to be and the way it has to look that you are missing something. That's what I was saying earlier, that there's something there in your like in your environment, even like on the outskirts of your awareness, even like it's not actually come into your focus, but it's there. It's there, and it's kind of getting bigger. I feel as though, you know, it's getting bigger behind you, and it's almost like it's going to kind of come in, and you're going to have to, like, it's determined. I feel it's determined, because I do feel that you are going to get there, but you're making it a lot harder, Gemini. I feel that's the message that I'm getting here, is you are making it a lot harder for yourselves by doing this the way you're doing it. whatever it's about, whether it's about a relationship, whether it's about a business, whether this is a family situation, but there is something here that you are refusing point blank to look at. And you are still allowing whatever this is to kind of be your total focus of attention. Even to the point where I feel as though it is driving you insane. It is driving you loopy. Absolutely. And it's almost, it feels as though it's got to the point where you're thinking, I'm not going to let it defeat me. It's, you know, it's like, it's almost like that challenge which you started off with here has become really personal to you. At the expense of everything else, at the expense of your sanity even, Gemini. There's just this sense of like, you know, I have to do it my way. I have to do it my way. Otherwise, forget it. It has to be done my way. My way or the highway kind of thing. So, over the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Emperor energy, which has come out in reverse, which is interesting because, again, it kind of reminds me of this Lion energy here. They are both lions, the Strength card and the Emperor. And for me, the Emperor is very much the Leo energy. The Leo, the Sun, the King of the Jungle. You don't mess with the Emperor. But at the same time, I also feel that this is ego driven. I think this is what this is about today, because Leos are about the ego as well. The sun, the biggest, brightest light. And Leos do like the spotlight. They do like to be centre stage. And so I feel as though this has kind of become a battle of wills with yourself, Gemini, rather than with anybody outside of you, I feel. Although for some of you, there could also be outside elements here. But I get the feeling overall, Gemini, that this is more about you kind of battling with you over this. And the Emperor here in reverse is usually, when the Emperor is up the right way, he's very much about kind of like a solid energy, a kind of, there's a power to the Emperor. You, like I was saying, you know, you do what the Emperor wants done. Again, it's about bringing things into the concrete, into the physical world as well, kind of bringing the, making things concrete, making things real. But it is in reverse. And I get more the idea with this card in reverse here, that this is more about you battling with yourself here. So Gemini, I'm going to quickly pull a moon card. I have a couple of other cards I want to read for you as well. But I will pull you a moon card to see what the moon wisdom is here. And a moon card, please, for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, Gemini. What is the wisdom, the advice for the outcome here for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising energy for Gemini. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be aware of? We do have a new moon coming up on the 24th. Sorry about that, I just picked that up. Oh, interesting. Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. And as I was saying at the beginning of this reading, the North Node is just about to move in, or just about like on May the 5th, basically. The North Node will be moving out of the sign of Cancer and moving into the sign of Gemini. And it is about stepping out of your comfort zone, because the North Node is all about where we're heading towards, where we need to go, the lessons that we still have to learn. The South Node is about what we need to leave behind us. So when the North Node moves into your sign, the South Node will be moving into Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign, Gemini. So there's like this axis there. And the nodes always move in reverse as well. So they will go from the end of your sign, sorry, right to the beginning of your sign over 18 months. So moving out of your comfort zone, for me, it is implying that you need to kind of stop trying to do the same thing in the same way. Because for you, that has been your comfort zone. And this is literally what it's saying. It's time to leave that comfort zone behind and do something in a different way. Otherwise, you are just going to keep repeating the same patterns. So this is your Namaste blessing card. And it is a card of the blessed treasure within. The blessed treasures within. And it says, the qualities you admire in others, you also possess. There is a treasure within you. This card is here to help you reconnect with the well of wisdom, creativity, and beauty inside you. It is time to shine your light. And maybe that's also something that you need to kind of recognize with the Queen of Pentacles as well, and also here as well with this light that I was talking about here. This light, you are ignoring it, you are kind of just totally blanking it, but it is coming into your, or it will come into your awareness, I feel quite strongly. And you got two Namaste blessing cards, Gemini. Being the twins, you need one for both of you. So the next one says, a sea of blessings. The universe is a projection from within you, and you are a projection of the universe. You are vast space, and yet you are spaceless. You are a divine ocean of love, a sea of blessings. You are the wind of change that flows through life. So I think it's kind of reminding you here that manifestation, or making things happen, involves this kind of awareness of everything. And particularly the universe. And if the universe is trying to send you on a different path, then you have to listen eventually. So the last card we have here is Moldavite, which is not an easy crystal to get hold of because it comes from the outer realms. It's all about appearances. And I will quickly read you what it says. It's the heart chakra because it's green. So that's a nice stone. But it says, hurtling through space, red hot to the melting point, cutting through the atmosphere and plunging deep within the earth, finally coming to rest, feeling the cool of the earth around us as we move into a solid state, so different than we were in our former home. There we were in constant motion, a moving, active substance. Here we are still and quiet. We are aliens here, strangers to your planet. It was our mission to make a very long journey to serve as confirmation for you that other worlds exist. The elements in our bodies are entirely different than those of Earth. It was known that scientists familiar with Earth materials would recognise that we came from the stars. Our external selves are very different from our internal selves. The outer opaque rivulets on our bodies were created by the heat we experienced on our entry. Obscured by our outer selves, our inner selves are a clear, unclouded green. So if you look at the stone here, if you look at the crystal, if you've ever looked at a piece of moldavite, that is very much how it comes across. It's kind of rippled and almost glass-like. There's a very glass-like look to moldavite. It's a beautiful stone, beautiful crystal. But inside, it's very smooth. It's very clear. It's very smooth. It is literally kind of like glass, but not. We could be judged as gemstone quality by your earth standards. Our core is unflawed and clear, but it is hidden by our outer self. It is not the same with you. Your smile belies the pain within. A ravaged face may mask the beauty of the soul. A crippled body may disguise untapped abilities. Our message for you is about appearances. For example, your star brothers and sisters are quite different from you in body shape and substances. Though different on the outside, all entities spring from the same universal source of love. External appearances have nothing to do with the reality of any situation. What is important is the kernel of truth that lies at the heart. To see beyond appearances is to look the homeless man in the eye and see the prince. To look beyond appearances is to touch the face of God. Within, beyond all outer shells, you are pure of heart. And so are all your kin throughout the universe. Yes, there has been distortion of the basic principles of love, truth, and honour. But underneath it all, when everything else is stripped away, the pure soul appears. Millions of dollars are spent each year around the world to glorify outer appearances. Regardless of the industry, cosmetics, fashion, plastic surgery or weight loss, the approach is to fix the external and achieve happiness, but none of it is long-lasting. If the inner self needs nourishment, no amount of feeding the outer will satisfy it. The inner self is the self of beauty. A beauty that has nothing to do with the shape of a face, smooth skin or a trim body. When will you see it, friends? It pains us to see you in such misery. If you have drawn our card today, perhaps you need to reassess the value of appearances. When you look upon us, let it remind you that you are more than your shell. Search for the gemstone within you. You will not have to look far. It is within your generous and kind heart. It is also within the heart of the unusual looking beings you call ETs. It is within those creatures on your planet that you find repugnant. There is beauty there. See the divine in those you revile. See the luminosity in those whose appearances repel you. They are your family. We assist your heart chakra by helping you accept the alien within yourself. This is the person inside that you deny, whose face or behaviour you try to hide. Even the world appearances gives you the clue. To appear implies that something seems to be not what it is. Do not be fooled by appearances. Look beyond them and within. Reach out to those you would have turned away from before. There will be one day when you will remember the description of your journey from the stars. You will have a similar experience. Your spirit and soul will be set free and you will leave your physical body behind. That is the point when the outer and inner selves will totally merge. There will be no confusion about which is the real you. You will be pure light and pure love. All beings will look the same, for in truth we are even now only appearances. Fool us into thinking that we are different and separate. It is an illusion. We are one. Okay, so that's your card, Gemini, appearances. I don't know whether you feel that fits in or not. but that's what it's given me today. That's what they've given me for you, is appearances, the heart chakra. Like I say, it's not an easy gemstone to get hold of because it does come from a comet or a meteorite, I think it is. I think it comes from a meteorite, and I think it landed in Romania or somewhere like that. So it's not easy to get hold of. And maybe you could visualize it in your mind, visualize it as a green light for your heart chakra as well. Maybe that will also help you to kind of find some sense of peace within yourself as well, because I feel from this reading, Gemini, that that is maybe what's kind of missing from your life at this moment in time as well, is this sense of peace, that it's all kind of getting to you. So I hope that this reading has been of some help to you, Gemini. If you have enjoyed it, please could you thumbs it up. If this reading doesn't make any sense to you, like I said, you can always check out the other readings that I have put out there, and readings that I will be putting out. There will also be putting a reading out for this new moon in Aries that's coming up on the 24th in the UK, 23rd I believe elsewhere. And also, could you subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. And also tap that bell so that you can get the future videos that I will put out there, and try and get my messages out to the wider YouTube world. It would be very much appreciated if you could help me do that as well. And if you feel so inclined, my email is going to be in the description box down below. You could always ask me for a private personal reading, which I can do through various different ways, Skype or Messenger, or over the phone, the old-fashioned phone method. And also share my message if you feel that it's going to be of benefit to anybody that you know, any other Geminis, or anybody you feel might be stuck in this kind of situation and could really do with a little bit of help and a little bit of understanding. That would be wonderful. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, Gemini.